Good morning guys, and welcome to this edition of Hikelogpedia. This morning I find myself in the beach resort of Fulong on Taiwan's northeast coast. It's the Dongbeijiao de Fulong Haitan. I'm here not to go to the beach, but actually I'm going for a bike ride. So I've got my trusty Brompton with me, and I've even splashed a bit of cash. Got a brand new bag. It's I think it's called the Bora bag. It's 28 litres, and I'm not going to tell you how much it costs because it wasn't cheap. Anyway, I'm here because there is a 20-kilometer coastal loop bike track that starts from here in Fulong and goes around the scenic northeast coast of Taiwan, and it's a really pretty part of Taiwan, and there's also a bit of history which I'll go into a bit later. And the weather is glorious today, even though the forecast said it was going to rain, so I did bring my raincoat, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't need it. Anyway, let's get going and go and have a look at Taiwan's northeast coast by Brompton. Now, because it's a loop trip, you can go either way, of course. I think the most common way is to go around the coast first and then come back through the tunnel to the train station, but I'm going the other way. I'm going to go down this way to the tunnel. It's about 2k to the tunnel and then back around the coast. That's because I came here a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and the day turned out to be a disaster. First off, it was raining and miserable. Then when we got to the tunnel, it was closed for maintenance, so that screwed up our whole day's plan, although we did have a great seafood lunch, which I'll tell you about later. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I'm going this way to check whether the tunnel's open, so let's head off now and check it out. Now, the tunnel is just over 2 kilometers in length, and it took 3 years to build, beginning in 1921 and finishing in 1924 at the cost of 11 lives. Well, that was fun and nice and cool as well, but it's back into the heat now, so let's carry on. So we've come out onto the east coast now. You can already see some of the beautiful rock formations that this part of Taiwan is quite famous for, but you can also see Turtle Island. We're living on the edge! It's a pretty nice track so far. They've got a special lane which is very useful because this road is very busy, has a lot of trucks because they're not allowed to go through the Xie Shan tunnel. so they all use the coastal road. So riding on the actual road is not much fun, but luckily, as you can see, we've got a nice separate path, and there's also rest stop and toilet areas evenly spaced along the way, and coffee shops and little villages and stuff for you to stop in. So it's a really pleasant experience, and although it's super hot, there's quite a nice sea breeze, so you don't feel too hot. Now I've driven and taken the train along this coast many times. I've even cycled it before, but that was a long time ago. But the rock formations, you can only really appreciate how beautiful they are at slow speed, like on your bike. You can check them out. The whole coast along here is absolutely amazing. So beautiful. Can stop for some betel nut just in case you're in need of a quick buzz. Sorry about the location, but it's super sunny and there's no shade anywhere today, so this is the best place I could find. Anyway, I'm here at Santiago, but did you know the name Santiago is actually derived from the Spanish for Cape Santiago? Now it's not that well known, but many moons ago this whole area of northern Taiwan was controlled by the Spanish. Arriving in May 1626, after sailing north from the Philippines, the Spanish landed somewhere along this coast, christening it Cape Santiago. Deciding that it was too difficult to defend, they didn't stay here long and soon moved around the coast to Geelong, from where they established a colony, eventually expanding even further around the coast to Danshui, while also controlling large parts of northern Taiwan. For 16 years, the Spanish engaged in trade and missionary work, while also mining for coal and sulfur, until they were eventually driven out by the Dutch in 1642. Now you can actually walk up to the lighthouse, and the trail just starts over the road there. But you know what? It's super hot today. I got my bike and all my filming gear, and I'm feeling lazy, so I'm not going to do that, but you guys can if you want. Now I've seen some crazy signs in my time in Taiwan, like owl crossing and bat crossing, but never seen cat crossing before. Another interesting spot on this trail is the fishing village of Ma Gang, which is where I am now, and its stone houses. Now there's many houses like this. Now these houses were built during the Qing dynasty by immigrants from Fujian province. Now arriving on this bleak coastline, they needed somewhere to live, and in those days you couldn't go to your local hardware store or get a quote from your neighbourhood builder, so you had to carve the stones out of the nearest rock formation and build your own house. And they're pretty amazing structures, I think you'll agree. The older houses tend to have these super thick, probably were once seawalls outside, although there's a big harbour there now. I guess 100 years ago that wasn't there, so they needed these monster seawalls to protect the houses. I'm just guessing here, but that's what it looks like to me. Well, I have read somewhere online that this area is now under threat from a planned resort. If true, it would be a real shame to see these houses demolished to make way for yet another soulless resort. Remember that horrible thing they built on the east coast just north of Taidong? There is a drink for sale here. What's it? 叫什么？石花
那个海燕螺，还有石花冻、石花银。
石花冻。
这个是海燕螺，
海燕螺
也是跟那
个用什么做的？
一样，山芦草不同类的。
哦，这个东西。
那个是石花银。这个石花冻。哦，
是冻 ，OK，
这个是像布丁的，跟那个
OK， so that one's a jelly。
一样是那种做的。
And that one's a drink。是天气热的时候要喝吗？
对，能免退火。这个有胶原蛋白。胶原蛋白
，which is
对。
What's the word? Collagen. Yeah.
你喝吃看看就知道。
我喝一杯石花
饮料。
石花饮料。好，多少钱
？35块而已。
So this stuff is made out of that stuff that's drying on the ground. I have no idea what it is. I think it's some kind of seagrass or something like that. I'll look it up because I really don't know. Okay, let's try some 石花冻. It's very sweet. Kind of tastes, I don't know what it tastes like, to be honest, but I've tasted something like this before. Kind of tastes like ayu, but without the lemon juice. Not bad. Though I guess it's a bit sweet for my liking. But it's a welcome break from the heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take a break here because I really want to tell you about how you can improve your internet experience with the help of the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark. If you don't already know, Surfshark is a fast and easy to use VPN that lets you connect to the internet quickly and securely. Maybe you're tired of the Netflix selection in your own region. Well, you can also use Surfshark to connect to Netflix in other regions and enjoy a bespoke viewing experience, unblocking region-specific content that's not available at home. And if you're keen to get back in the saddle once Taiwan reopens, Surfshark can also help you to unlock lower airfares and hotel prices, depending on where you book from. Surfshark's industry-leading encryption also helps protect your data and identity when surfing public Wi-Fi networks. And the coolest thing is that one subscription allows you to install and run Surfshark on an unlimited number of devices. And best of all, you don't need to fork out too much. Just enter the code Hyclopedia for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. And there's no risk because it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So to take your internet experience up a gear, click the link in the description below. So I got a little story to tell about this place. I actually came here last week, as I mentioned, with my wife, and I've ordered the same things except for one. I got Haixianjiu, which is like a rice porridge, seafood rice porridge, and then I got this small plate of peanuts and fish. It's a bit like the Taiwanese version of ikan bilis and peanuts. I have no idea what it's called. That's probably enough for me. Also got a beer. But last week when we came here, we also ordered one seafood dish, We didn't even know what it was when we ordered it, but when it came, it was a big plate of barnacles. I'll play the footage and the photos now so you can see them. I must say it's one of the strangest seafoods that I've ever eaten in my whole life, but actually it didn't taste too bad. So you never know until you try. That's my motto, as I always keep telling you. Oh, that one's come out. Oh my god. I don't know what to do with it. This bit, right?
Yeah, good. The top is hard.
No, I took the top off already. Pan off. Aliens. I'm eating aliens.
How's that taste?
Fishy. The creature from the Black Lagoon. Don't want to eat that. This is probably one of the best rice porridge dishes I've ever had. It's really nice. There's so much stuff inside it. Vegetables, and I'm going to put the peanuts and the fish on top to give it a bit of extra crunch. So good. That was really good, but rather filling, so I've had to da bao and take some home. But yeah, pretty good food in Mau Au, I think it is. And remember I said it was the forecast was for rain? Well, they may be right in the end, because there's a lot of cloud come over while I'm having my lunch, and it looks like it's gonna rain, so I might have to get my skates on and get back to Fulong. Now this particular tree or plant, whatever the hell it is here, is quite interesting. It's called screw pine, and you find it all over coastal areas in Taiwan. And if you like to explore old military places like I do, you will always find this stuff, because back in the old days the Qing troops, they used to plant it near forts and cliffs where they had strongholds, because it's kind of spiky and annoying, and if you try to climb up on it, it breaks very easily. So it's kind of useful as a defensive plant. It's pretty cool too. It's got a very interesting looking fruit. I'll see if I can find one. That's the fruit, and when it's ripe it turns kind of yellowy orange and resembles a pineapple in some ways, but only a complete fool would mistake it for a pineapple. Alright guys, I'm back at the start point. It's taken me about 4.5 hours and I've done 20k, but obviously it's taken me a lot longer than it would just to ride it, because I'm doing all my filming and drone work, and I stopped for lunch and various other things happen along the way. But overall it's a really enjoyable ride. It's not difficult at all. It's very easy to find your way, very difficult to get lost. So I would recommend it to anyone who fancies a day trip out of Taipei, because it's easy to get to. You can get the train from Taipei to Fulong, rent a bike and do the circuit. And if you don't want to rent a bike, you can just go to the beach or Also from Fulong is there's a famous walking trail called Caolingu Dao, which takes you over the hills and down to the east coast, and from there you can also catch the train back to Fulong or to Taipei. So Fulong is a really good place for a day out from Taipei. Anyway, that's about it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Give me a like. You can always subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for a reminder of my video every Saturday morning. Oh yeah, one more thing. Thanks to everybody who got me a coffee this week. You are my superstars. If you'd like to support the channel, then you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee page. If you buy me 3 or more coffees, you can get a Hyclopedia patch, or you can get some stickers or some digital downloads. Go to the webpage and check it out. Your help is very much appreciated. Alright guys, that's it for today. Take it easy. See you next week. Over and out.